There's currently a hashtag going around on Twitter called hashtag delay Sonic Frontiers, and in my opinion, I agree. The game's clearly not finished, and 6 months can change a couple things, but nothing as big as the issues I pointed out. I posted a tweet on Twitter which basically said this: Sonic Frontiers has to succeed. This game needs to be the best it can be. We can't afford any of the Sonic forces. Definitely delay the game, take your time, and give us a release date and new trailer when you're ready. We love you, Sonic Team. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was fucking wrong.
I'm here, reaching far across these new frontiers. With my life, I fight this fear. In my hands, I hold the ones I love. Walk forward through the cold tide.
Sonic Frontiers actually looks pretty cool. Yeah, I fucking said it. What are you gonna do, sue me? About 3 months ago now, I made a video talking about the newest and, at the time, only Sonic Frontiers gameplay we had, basically ragging on it and discussing my thoughts. However, a lot changed in those 3 months, and today I'm going to go through that video and discuss everything that has not only changed, but what I was wrong about. So not much has changed with the positives I already had. I pretty much still agree with what I said. The game still looks beautiful, Sonic's model is still pretty good, and there's a lot of really cool concepts here. So let's add on to the list of positives. First off, I think the idea of cyberspace being Sonic's memories distorted is a really nice idea, and I can't wait to play through classic themes with different level design. Speaking of level design, we finally have multiple pathways back. The Cocos are a really nice replacement for Chaos, although I wouldn't have minded at all if Chaos came back, but it's fine. Sage looks really cool and seems like a genuine threat compared to the previous mainline villains, such as Infinite and Dr. Eggman in the last few games. Speaking of Infinite, she feels like Infinite if he was more refined and they put genuine effort into making him. I didn't actually mention this at all in the first video, weirdly enough, but the puzzles seem pretty interesting. The voice acting sounds really good from what we've heard, especially from Roger Craig Smith.
Mortal,
Ugh. Hello?
you have done the impossible. You have escaped cyberspace through your own power. You are the key.
Key, huh? Sure beats being called a rodent. Are you saying I can rescue my friends?
Find the Chaos Sentinels. Destroy the Titans. Tear down the walls between dimensions.
Yeah, okay, sure. How about a little context? Hello?
This next point isn't worth mentioning that much, since it's pretty much commonplace in every Sonic game, even the worst of the worst like Forces or 06, but the soundtrack so far slaps. We recently got the ending theme revealed, which is called Vandalized by OK1 Rock, and it fucking slaps. We've also had a little bit of the main theme, I'm Here, revealed, which I played a little bit early in the video, and again, it pretty much fucking goes hard, and I can't wait for the full version to be revealed. Both of these are linked in the description if you want to hear them. Two minor things we've heard about this game so far is also that apparently this is not only the longest Sonic game ever, but it's also the Sonic game with the most content ever, which is pretty fucking cool and means it won't be like Forces where you can 100% the game on the first day. The combat is also the most amount of things we've ever had in a Sonic game, and I say this unironically. We have a skill tree now, and just going off of gameplay alone, we've seen so many different kinds of attacks and tricks you can pull off. It's no longer just homing attack slash spin dash to win now. They even have some Sonic movie inspired moves in there. And the enemies also actually do shit instead of just standing there waiting for you to kill them. There was also a public demo recently, and overall the reception was really good from the people who played it. Funny enough, people actually managed to get past the first island thanks to a glitch, which didn't reset the game after the 15-minute timer was done, so we got a whole bunch of cutscenes and stuff from the first island, and it looks really good. And finally, the final positive thing I want to talk about, Big the Cat is fucking back. Let's move on to negatives. Let's start with things that I stated in the previous video. I have written down, the world looks massively unfinished and lifeless. I disagree with this point more now. The world does feel a little unfinished and messy, but looking at all the footage we have now, I don't think that's a big issue. I'd also argue that could just be the point. I was wrong to say it was lifeless with the little footage we had. I probably should have waited for more info to be revealed, especially now that we know about the Cocos. On to the next point. Sonic feels out of place. You know, there's nothing really relate to him. There's no tribes. There's no, like, fucking... There's nothing really. There's no civilizations related to Sonic or anything. The only real things related to Sonic are Sonic himself. And, you know, the rings and the railings. Okay, no, he doesn't. I know why I thought this at the time, but again, looking at the new footage, he definitely feels more in place than he was in the IGN footage. Again, I probably should have waited for more footage to be released instead of jumping to conclusions. But we haven't seen the HUD still, which I seriously do not like that I put this in the video. This was such an odd criticism, and I do remember being confused on whether to keep it or get rid of it, and I don't know why I chose to keep it. It's a shitty criticism, and I feel stupid for deciding to keep it in. So in the script for that video, I did actually write that it feels like a tech demo, but I cut this and honestly wish I didn't because I was right about this. It was a demo. At the time we weren't sure, but we know now that the gameplay we saw was a pretty early build. So I don't really have an issue with this because I was actually right. My next two complaints were about Poppin and the animations being unfinished, but both of these came down to it being an early build. So while at the time it was valid criticism, it's not anymore because now we know that's an early build. I think they messed up with the setting of this game. Like in general, I just think they messed up. I feel like having this be like an open, like, you know, the usual open world thing where it's like this massive land of air, like this massive area of land with grass and trees. I feel like they shouldn't have done that for a Sonic game. I feel like they should have done like a city, you know, an open world station square maybe. I do sort of still agree with this. It's kind of a 50-50 thing. Now that we've seen more of this game, I definitely like the whole setting and story a lot more because it's a really interesting concept. In the video, I do argue, though, that the setting should have probably been a city, and while I like Frontier's setting a lot more now, I can't lie, I still really want to see Sonic in an open-world city. Maybe they can do that in the next game. Hell, Sonic Adventure 3 maybe, since Sega did confirm they want to do that one day. So now that I'm done with the negatives I discussed in the first video, what else do I have to discuss? Well, honestly, compared to positives, not that much. I guess I want them to show more of Knuckles since we know he's in the game, but that's it, to be honest. I just don't really have anything I want to shit on. I really can't think of anything I haven't already covered. Okay, so I showed a bit of the conclusion at the start of the video, and I kind of just want to give it its own separate section. I mentioned the hashtag delay Sonic Frontiers that was going around on Twitter at the time, and I obviously disagree with this. Looking at the game now, it definitely does not need a delay, and I'd genuinely be shocked if it did get delayed. Especially now that it has a November 8th release date, is a month away, and is pretty much finished. I compared it having an indefinite delay to the first Sonic movie, and again, this is a very different situation. The Sonic movie genuinely needed a delay in order to give the VFX team and artists time to create a whole new design from the beginning, but this did not need that, especially since we now know it's just an early build. I also predicted it having a public demo, which is good because now we know more about the game. A little too much in my opinion, but that's a different topic and not really the fault of Sega. And we can confidently say that this game is going to be good, as everyone who played it genuinely liked it. So overall, I'm excited for this game, which is definitely not something I could imagine myself saying 3 months ago. I think this game looks fun, and while the story has the potential to just be okay, I think everything else will make up for it. Honestly, I'm kind of embarrassed by the old video. There was a script, but it was very barely there. It was just kind of notes, and I was using iMovie to edit this, which just made everything worse, and actually is why everything is much better edited now in my newer videos, because I use an app called CapCut. I'm legitimately tempted to just kind of make the video unlisted because it just kind of annoys me. There's just so much wrong with it. Anyways, that's it from me for now. Socials and shit will be in the description. Thanks for the support lately, by the way. I was checking the views of my videos lately, and the last 2 videos both casually got over 100 views. The Omen video getting close to 200, actually. So, thanks for the support. It means a lot to me, and actually gives me motivation to make more. Also, school has started back up for me now, and since I'm in year 11, I have a lot less time to make stuff, so that's why there were no uploads during September. I talked about this over on my Twitter, so if you want to go check that out, go ahead. Anyways, see ya, and tune in for next month for the video titled, I Was Wrong About Being Wrong About Sonic Frontiers.